Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Bream Fishing Project. This is the monthly report for June. And with me, as always, on the line, I've got Brett Geddes. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Yeah, Deethy, I'm starting to not even count the episodes we've done now. Let's drop that. I know it's number six, but so I did
But
count.
who's counting?
But
Yeah.
from here on in, who cares? But I know you've got a lot to go through. I've got so much to get on with. Geez, I love this time of year, Deethy. It's incredible. But mate, you know
Oh,
what? First cab off the rank. Where have the whiskers gone? What's going on, pal?
oh, mate, there's a big story behind that. I'm gonna have to come back to that.
Okay,
That's too
yeah,
big
let's
for
save it.
that's too big for before the intro.
Okay,
Um,
handball. Okay.
exactly, mate. So before we roll the intros, mate, I've got to run through the comps for next month. Just do a short review of the East Coast Brim series. Got a bunch of products, lots of exciting stuff to share. And yeah, I can't wait. What about yourself?
Oh, cripes, where do I start? I want to talk about the collective. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago, and Deethy, I just sat back and absorbed. I was like a big sponge. We had Zeus, Dale, and we had Leon Leong, he is really starting to reach the stars, I think. Some of the stuff he comes up with. I was
Yeah.
contacted by people from Tassie, not just Scott O. Jones, but Andrew Krushka. He
Yeah.
gave us a big play, right, and said, Brett, love the monthly report, otherwise known as the MR. He said, keep up the good work, man. Here's a few. He just to be reached out by someone like that fella, he can really catch brim, that dude. And so that was a big feather in our cap, but also via YouTube, Nev's fishing. Now, Nev,
Oh,
he gave us a really nice little pump up, and I've been talking to him as well, just via Messenger, and he's been catching perch in my neck of the woods. It's down
oh,
south, South Kippy, perch to 49 and 50. It probably won't get expanded on this talk, but maybe next time. Oh, what else have I got to go through? I've taken a few notes here, Deethy, because I had to. I've got to talk about Joey and the weight second. And I've got his muscles and I've been rigging them, doing different stuff. Spider crab, the hurricanes. I want to talk about chase bait prawns too. Can you believe it? And
right.
and the baby vibe is still there and doing things. Now, I've got a little bit of show and tell. I like YouTube because we can hold lures up. It's pretty cool.
That's right.
Pretty
That's
cool.
right. All right. Let's roll the intros, mate, and then we'll get back and get straight into it. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Bream Fishing Project. This is where you need to be every Tuesday to find out all the latest tips and tricks to help you target bream on lures. You'll get to hear from some of Australia's elite bream competition anglers and see how they were able to achieve their results in competitions around the country. Now, here's your host, the 2019 Hobie Kayak Fishing World Champion, Andrew Deeth.
So, look, first thing I want to go through, Brett, let's go through the competitions for this month. Now, it's a big month.
Big.
Um,
Yes.
Big month. Like, we haven't spoken about what's going to come through here. And what I would say is, I'll expand a little bit this later in the interview, but I'm probably going to have to double up the shows because I've got a heap in the bank and there's a heap coming.
Yeah.
So I probably have to go 2 a week for a little while just to catch up, just to get some of the shows out there. All right. Kicks off ABT 6th and 7th of June at Foster. Now, this was the Northern Rivers or the Mid Northern Rivers double header, Foster and the Manning River. But with the recent floods up there, I can't believe this, but they're doing Foster and then Foster again. I love Foster. I wish I could fish it.
True.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then for the ABT, they back up the end of the month with the Queensland Open, which is on Moreton Bay and Gold Coast.
Mm.
And the way they format that is they'll go to Moreton Bay on the best weather day. So it might be Saturday, might be Sunday, or whatever days of the week that is. And they'll go to the Gold Coast on the worst weather day. Vic Brim, they're off to Nelson at the Glenelg River, the 21st and 22nd of June. And then heading off to Western Australia for the water boats, they have their round 2, which is on the 15th of June at Peel Inlet in Mandurah. On the same day in New South Wales, we got the New South Wales Tournament Series round 4 at Lake Macquarie. And then the Queensland Team Series, they're running one on the 22nd of June on the Tweed River. So that's it. That's all I've got, except for one which I haven't written down. And this is the most important of all.
Yep.
Mate, the Hobies on the Georges River,
Oh.
my home river.
Well, look out. Here we go.
I forgot to write it down.
Deethy, before you get on with the show here, what have the floods really done? Is it see, in Victoria, when we get 80 to 100 mils, that shuts us down for 2 months.
Yeah.
And some. And my good buddy Jamie Robley, when I've spoken to him and liaised with him for so many years now, 20 plus years, he said, "Oh no, Brett, the Tuggerah Lakes can get X amount and Dora Creek can have this, but pretty much within 2 or 3 weeks, it's all back to normal, and it's all not normal, but if you adjust, you still get fish."
Yeah.
So can you just go through that with me? Because I'm not quite up with that. The inundation of water, I know it's been extreme, but the comps are telling me that we can deal with it.
That's right. A couple of things. So we just did, so coming out of this weekend, just gone, so yesterday, we had the Hobies up on Lake Macquarie, which I fished on the Saturday. And to be honest, I found it tough.
Right.
But that with all the dirty water and played havoc with my sounder and all that sort of stuff.
Was that tidally influenced? Was that?
Oh, massively.
Okay.
Yeah. The waters were up. Sorry to expand on that. The waters were at semi-flood levels. And over the course of the 2 days, they tended to just drop. So it was mostly run out tide.
Okay.
But I wasn't upset with the way I fished, but I didn't get good fish on the Saturday. I got 920 grams for my 3, so just little fish.
Right.
And then on the Sunday, something that has never happened to me before, I was ill.
Yeah, you contacted me over this. You're all right now, though.
Yeah, I'm good. This is the next night, and I feel great.
Okay.
I was ill on the water and was off the water by about 8 o'clock and home by midday. So home, 12:15 and into bed. But what I am, in speaking to a couple of the anglers, I haven't done interviews yet, but the fish were moving. They moved further into the shallows as the weekend went on. So as the water it starts to clear up really quickly up there.
Yep.
So there's a quick recovery and already up into the flats. And there was stories throughout the conf of people catching fish off people's backyards up on the grass.
Oh, that's a crack up. Really?
So, yeah. And then if you come down to our home waters, we've had, in the Georges, there's not been that much rain. It's been a little bit, probably enough to push the fish down river for the Georges River comp, which I think will be good. Yeah, it'll keep them in the lower reaches would be my thoughts. So,
okay.
Does that kind of answer your question?
Oh, yeah, it does. But I really wanted to really push that thing. Do you think there's a delineation where there's X amount of water, there's 2 meters of dirty, and there's 3.5, 4, 5 meters of salty, fishable water? That's what happens in my neck of the woods. Do you see that on your sounder? Do you talk about that with other anglers and competitors? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is a thing. And this is what I spoke to Joseph Gardner this afternoon for a couple of minutes. And he said the line on his sounder was very definite.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't see it on mine, so I was a bit confused about that.
Is it a temperature thing though? It might not be salt versus fresh. It could be a temperature.
It could be. And I actually know my temperature is not set up properly on my kayak on the new sounder. Yeah. So that's probably what that is, because he said it was a really definite line. And he said it moved from different spot to spot and over the 2 days or 3 days. So.
Yeah, I think this is where tech is heading to differentiate that. It's all good and well to have the forward facing and all that magic sonar stuff that we've got, but that's another little wee element to it. Because I bring this up because in my home waters here in Lake Wellington, we've got about 10 to 15 mil. It's quite insignificant in the scheme of things, but from looking at the top, you think, oh, that water looks septic. It's a rusty, sort of funny, bloomy colour, and think, not worth fishing. But when you pedal through it with the Hobie, you look behind you or next to you and you think, oh, it's all actually crystal clear under that little wedge.
Really?
Okay, so it's funny in that you can fish that water. It's crystal clear. You can go in another part of the Latrobe River that looks cleaner, a little bit cleaner, but it's the same water right through the water column, and it's got that green tinge in it, and it's
Yeah.
still catch fish in it. But going back to the lake water, which has got that little residue on the top, it's crystal clear underneath. The catch rates are like whoosh through the roof. And anyone else that turns up, and I call them ferals, I say, I want this to myself. Where are these people coming from? Melbourne. Send them back home.
So,
They all look,
to be clear, you're like, who are all these ferals?
yep, who are these ferals? But it's taken time for me to learn that too, because I'm now looking for that rusty gap in the water. Like it really is only, it'd be barely 20 centimeters.
Yeah, right.
And if you put your paddle, if you wanted to move around, or you can just see that you stir the water up and it's clean underneath. So it's a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about that, Deethy, just to see if there was it might be 3 meters in the floods up there. It could be.
Yeah, it could well be.
Yeah. Okay.
So that means in that water down there, so normally if you're fishing and it's fishing flats, super still,
Yep.
super sunny and clear, it's hard to get them. But if you put a layer of film over the top of it, that's going to relax the fish a lot.
Now you're talking. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. So when you fish and when you find that water, which is the important part, and then when you fish it, you suddenly realise it's a blanket of comfort. It's almost super cloudy weather, if you like.
Yep.
It definitely got that thing going. And for the two species I'm targeting, bream and perch, a lot more for bream, not so much for perch. It's a real thing. And I got talking to Lee Rayner just the last 2-3 days, and he said, "Oh, Brett, where am I going fishing?" And I've seen this water not a bit coloured up, and I said, "This is the water you got to target, me." And it sounds not quite right, NQR, but this is what's going on. And that little conversation I've had with him. And he's done okay, not super good, but it just comes with time, and some days are better than others. I've had some pretty tough sorties recently in that I think the full moon going back 3 weeks back now, nearly, didn't help me, and very calm waters does not faze me one bit. And water temps are dropping. They're plunging. They're really dropping away on the sounder. They're coming down from the 15s, 14s down to the 12s and 10s. I don't know what that means to you up in your neck of the woods, but down here, that's a signal for fish going deep. And that's definitely been the case.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're hanging in on the shallows. So, yeah, we try and milk that as long as we can, Deethy.
Yeah, 100%. The floods are an interesting thing. I remember back in the day, we were like, oh, the water's too dirty, we can't find them. But as time's going on, we've got better at it. And I know spots where they sit in the dirty water. So different spots in maybe turbulent current might be a good way to describe it.
Right.
Where you can get fish in the deep, in the shallow, in the floodwaters. So.
And is that extended year on year, in inverted commas, global warming? Is it going longer and longer into winter, into that autumn? Do you reckon it's extending, or is it not registered with you yet? Or
no, I haven't observed that.
Okay.
That's not to say that it's happening or not happening. I couldn't say I've observed that.
Yeah.
Up here, we haven't had any. It's only been a year or so since we've had a proper flood.
Yeah.
We've had some rain here and it's been a bit of wash, but even the last week, like it's chocolate. Yeah.
But we've had 27 degrees in middle of May.
That's right.
And so the edge bite, shallow water thing, big bream, 45s, 46s. I've been getting, not a lot, but I've been getting a lot of 43s, 44s, and Joey's muss. What a good bet, Joey. Oh, I want to support that dude. For him to come second in the recent comp, Deethy, we can expand on that later. But from WA, he's got the same rods, 4 rods. He doesn't do got to have 3 or 4 different outfits, and does. He's up there, isn't he? You can expand on this. This is worth just touch on this a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So for a lot of people will know Joseph. So he's both a kayak fisherman and a boat angler. So fishes both lots and does well in. But what he's been good at, I would say, in the last few years, but just going all around the country to all different systems and performing and catching fish. Like Lake Mac, he ended up in second place. I'll pull up the results in a second.
A lot of traveling, do they? A lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling. He's also, as you said, we might as well go into it.
Yeah.
He's also developed his own range of mussels. So we got the pygmy mussel, the little one, and the micro mussel, which is hiding under it.
I've got it worked. Yeah.
But-
Browse.
Oh, and something else. It's so exciting. I think we'll come back to that.
Hey, Deethy, let me butt in.
All right.
Here's one of Joey's with the.
Oh my goodness!
It's a quadrella of hooks.
It's a quad hook setup.
It's a quaddie. Hang on.
I've never seen that.
So what I do is I'm not looking for snag resistance. I'm looking for easy change out. If these get compromised, these hooks, I can switch them out. So what I do is I've got 4 hooks going here.
You've got 4 hook points.
Got 4, Deethy, 2 double. So yeah, keeping with my love doubles, but I'm getting better than trebles. I've got 4 going on there.
Mate, I got an idea, Brett.
Go for it.
I got an idea now. We weren't going to get into this, but this is the way we're going to go.
It's the way we're going.
So Joseph's also got these chin weights out.
Correct. I got some. Thank you.
So these little chin weights, if you want that mussel to sink quicker, I reckon you can hang those chin weights between your doubles.
Oh, and it'll separate them a bit.
It would separate them a bit.
Wow.
And you won't lose any hook points. There will be nothing fouling it up.
Hey.
Oh, that's genius.
That's a ripper, that is. Oh, anyway, Joey does it for me because we're going to talk about this later on the collective. I've got so much to tell about the collective. The Bream Project collective. I'm getting too far ahead of myself at the minute.
We jumped the gun. I got one more thing to go with the comps. So I haven't reviewed the East Coast Bream series this year. To be fair, I've had a lot of people reach out to me over this, and I just can't get to everything. It's simple as that. As it stands, I've got 5 or 6 shows, at least 6 shows in the bank. Right. I've got the next couple of weeks already done and dusted, which will include this one. Anyway, I just can't do it all.
No.
But I do want to bring it up because, I really like these guys, and a lot of my mates fish it. So I want to just run through their most recent session up at Lake Macquarie.
Yep.
So in first place, we had Zeusen, which is Dane Tamagotchi and Adam Lacey.
Go Dane. He's a character.
Go Dane.
Yeah.
He is. And they weighed their 3 fish. So it's the 3 fish comp up there for 2.965. And we'll come back to Dane when we talk about the collective.
Yes. Yeah.
And then another collective member, we've got Bait Shop Tukley Force Lures. So Force Lures with the
big package,
the package giveaway, which we'll come back to again later. Adam Amos and Paul Harmiston. They weighed 3 fish for 2.76. And then Vex Performance Lures. And I can't actually be sure, it was Simon McAlpin and Jacob Meredith with 3 fish for 2.745 out of Lake Macquarie, which means in third place, to come in third place, you had to have better than 900 grams of fish, which is pretty decent.
Okay. Yep. For that arena, yeah.
For that arena, yeah, anywhere, you're close to a kilo of fish. So, and same with Zeus from Zeus Tackle. They are just under a kilo in average fish. And then what I was trying to look up just now was the weekend at Lake Macquarie. We had a monster bream caught.
Oh, I haven't heard about this.
No. All right. So what we had Paul Hardiman. So Paul's been on the scene for a long time.
Yep, I know that.
He cracked a 1.54 kilo bream. What a crack. And that was enough to put him up as the Masters winner. So he weighed just 4 fish for 3.19. What a champion effort.
He's
in the floodwaters at Lake Macquarie. So how good was that?
That is really cool. Okay.
I don't know what he caught it on.
Not divulge. He may not divulge that. Swampy.
Oh, he'll tell me. He'll tell me.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. When the Hobie reports out, I'll fill in the blanks there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you have it. Yeah. So that's it for the for competitions for June, and just that one little review of the East Coast Brim series,
Yeah.
mate. Let's move on to some of your things. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
I want to start with this though, Deethy, because it's only probably 12, 14 days back. We had a middle of the month collective get together. And for those who haven't heard, Deethy on the Bream Project has got a collective that it's a subscription based thing. And we get together and we talk and we chat and we get together. For me, I've been asked for 30 odd years now to be asked into being into a fishing collective or being a mob of people that get together. And you know what? I've never wanted to be in a club. I've always desisted because I've said, yeah, I talk a lot and I've got a lot of friends, but I don't want people around me. I just want to fish
Yeah.
by myself. And so I've suddenly realised I'm in the best fishing club ever. There's nearly 100 of us. We need
Yes.
a couple more
One
to
more.
get the force package thing going. We'll expand on that later.
Yeah, we'll come. Yep.
We'll come full circle on that. In my muddled up words, here's what I'm saying. I never thought I'd be in a club, but here I am, and I'm absolutely loving it. We've got people like, off the top of my head, Leon, Leon, Deethy, the collective meeting that night, did he really shine or not? He come forward with stuff that, like he's saying, yes, Brett, the Gippy Lakes are fishing really well. Do you know I got 48 bream sight casting, all of them, on the Metung jetties with a mussel.
With a mussel. Yeah.
Or Joey, I think was it a blue bait? I can't remember. Probably doesn't matter.
I got a feeling it was the mussel. I think it was the Outback Brimmer baits.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Could be. Okay. Doesn't matter. Now, when I hear that, and I just go, there's a few things that register. So you got to fish a lot to come for, and he's keeping count. The real dedicated fishers in the world, they know to keep count because they say, when they walk away, someone says, how many did you get? He says, I got 10 or 12. Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe. When you really keep count, everyone gets shocked. And so Leon's in that bracket. So I know he's a pretty cooked character when it comes to Bremen.
Yes.
He's got chin weights happening. He's got other ideas as teabagging and throwing out the muss and watching it come round and observing the fish. And when you see fish not so much eat your muss, but not eat it, that's when you learn the most, was when they don't eat it. So Leon's all on top of that.
Yeah. Mate, I want to say one of the things that he described is he could see the fish. He's fishing on this wharf, so I don't know where this is. And he could see the fish out there, and they were suspended, I think maybe 2 meters under the surface or something like that.
I fished there, same scenario. I know exactly what he's looking at. Yes.
Okay, so he can see the fish out there. So he's casting his rod out and pulling the lure up tight. So he's keeping a tight line, high rod, so that the mussel would pendulum down through the school.
Yes.
And he got 48 brim doing it.
Oh, it's crazy. And
So
to miss, how many do you miss, Ethan?
I don't know. It was
It's crazy.
a moment. And landing him on a jetty. And was he using 3 pound?
Did he say?
I can't remember.
4 or 6 maybe? Yeah.
It's in the meeting. It's in the...
It is light. It is light.
It's in the Zoom.
Yeah,
it's in the Zoom meeting. And that was only the first part of the meeting.
Oh.
Like a lot of the stuff happened after I turned the camera, stopped recording.
Yeah, because let's get this out. So we record the 1 hour's worth, and then we all say, okay, I think even Dale Zeus said, oh, let's cut the bullshit. Let's just get on and chat. We don't need to mask what we need to. Not that anyone's protective or trying to be swampy, but we all just let loose a little. But everyone hung in there. Like even you've got people, Leanne and Beth, they're chipping in their little bits and pieces. And I love to... Carl wasn't with us, I don't think. But no. I have seen since Carl posted some photos of his homemade crabs. He's a man after my own heart. They're not quite as ugly as I think, Carl, but they're fucking working. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just so much to glean. I've never learnt so much in one. I was spellbound, Deethy, and I know I'm building this up, and I know I'm getting a little bit excited again. But, when I've got Zeus, Dane's telling me, oh, no, you got to fish 4 pound. If you can't feel your line, if you fish heavy leaders like you, Brett, that's crazy. You got to be able to feel it go down. And if you do fish heavy, it takes your lure away in the flow, in the
Yeah.
high flow stuff. Yeah, I've got to take all this on board. See, we're all learning.
Yes.
But, that input is it's just magic.
Yes.
It really, I learned so much in that. You got so many switched on characters that are contributing so much. It's Deethy, it takes a bit for me to sit back and not say much, and I really didn't talk much in that last collective meeting. I think you got that.
Yeah. What you said about Dane speaking up. So we've spoken a lot about your 17-pound
Yeah.
is something you're into, and that's great. But what was cool is Dane did come up and say, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
So he I don't buy it. This is what I think. But it wasn't out of place. It wasn't
It was respective.
like,
we
it was
respected each other. Yes.
100%. And
Yeah.
at that point, like we're trying to work out fishing, and my opinion on all of this is we're all right and we're all wrong. There's times where you need both. You need the finesse, and there's times where you should have the heavy line on.
Yeah.
Like,
and I can learn from others, and others can learn from me. It's never ending. The circle goes round. And I do believe this much, Deethy, I don't think you and I are going to live long enough to work it all out. And that's a bit of a blessing.
yeah,
We're still
it changes
discovering
anyway.
stuff. We're still getting...
That's right.
Oh, yes. All I can say is I never thought being a member of a fishing club, being that of the collective, that I would glean so much from it. I will say, and be honest about it, I thought I'm being pretty dismissive of being around a whole heap of anglers, and I just want to do my own thing. Not because I think I'm better, but it's just I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
But now I've come to realise just the tech, what we're doing on getting a meeting going together, and there's 60, was there 60 of us that night? It's pretty...
No, we hit it was only about 38
30.
or something like that.
Okay.
There's to just be open with all the numbers. We've got 99 in the collective as of today.
Okay.
99, and the meeting. So at that meeting, I can't remember. It was 36 or 38 was the high point of the meeting.
Yeah.
An hour after I stopped rolling the cameras, there was still over 30 people in there.
Yeah. And everyone chipping in. Everyone gets a go.
That's it. Yeah, everyone does get a go.
For sure. I know I'm ramping it up a little bit too much, but I'm excited by it because I'm learning so much. So that's a great thing.
And the challenge that I've got planned for next is going to be something quite different for a lot of people.
You going to crack it now? Or?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Good stuff.
No. The next meeting we'll bring that forward. But yeah, it's right out of the box, and I think we've got the guys to chip in like a mastermind group where we all share and add our 5 cents.
Oh, the input's it's expansive. It's new too. It's a lot of tech talk, a lot about the forward-facing technology, and all fairly new to me. But some of the stuff we talked about too, Deethy, and you're seeing Bream react to lures that hit the water in 10 metres.
It's crazy.
Now, let's go slow on that one because that's really worth talking about. You throw a lure that hits the water, whether it's a baby viper or a Sprat 75, doesn't matter, hits the water, and the Bream 10 metres down, not that far down, this far down, and they're going, oh, what's going on up there?
There's something up there.
When you tell me that stuff, I go, I know nothing. That's pretty freaky. Talk a bit about that, Deethy.
It opens up possibilities. Like I thought, to be honest, I'd be able to use it better at Lake Mac.
Okay.
But the water clarity affects it, and it just didn't seem to be the case. But certainly for your deeper systems like the basin, what you can do is go around and side scan up your fish. So use your side scan to locate them,
yep,
and then turn around and forward face on them and Yeah, and then target them. Watch your lures go down. There's definitely times where, like Morgo does, you can watch your lure go down and the fish come up to it and react on it.
Get cooler.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like it cooter. Yeah, like it cooter. To be honest, on the kayak, it's a handful. I think I've spoken before.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, actually, in the meeting, it's a handful on the kayak. I've got a great pole set up. Like, it's all good stuff, but you're still doing a lot of stuff. You can't stand there with your foot and turn your transducer a little bit to the left or right. You've got to take your hand off your rod.
Yep.
And move it.
Okay.
So
that comes at a cost. That's I get that.
Yeah. And it makes my kayak very busy.
Okay.
Like, I've just got a lot of stuff on there now.
But still learning.
But I don't want to take it off.
No. And you've had the upgrade.
And I've had the upgrade. So I've gone to Active Target 2 with the upgrade. And when I had Active Target 1, to be fair, I put it on twice. I put it on, I used it for a while, and I took it off. And then I went, I better try a bit more, put it back on it, and then took it off.
Okay.
It is what it is.
And do you subscribe to the bit about use your forward-facing and active stuff to find the fish and then stop video gaming and go more finesse, look at your rod, look at your leader? Or does that not mean much to you? Are you saying,
I'm halfway.
Let's go with it?
Yeah, no, I'm halfway on that. Because if I can watch my lure come down and you can see it land into the fish, you know it's about to happen, or you see something come up, I don't know what's going to happen. So whenever I can do that, honestly, I do that.
Yeah.
But with the kayak bouncing up and down, side to side movement, it's hard I find it hard to keep focused on the lure, on the kayak.
Every scenario is different too, though.
Yeah. But I think where it comes into play is like when we fish the Georges, if I fish the bridges, I'll be able to see whether the fish are high on the bridge, low on the bridge, in front of the pylon, behind the pylon. That stuff's invaluable. And then, and I haven't had a chance to practice it that much. Then when we take, if it's high current, high flow, we take our brand new chin weights and clip them on. Maybe that double hook setup, that looks pretty cool to me. Put a chin weight between, if you can fit a chin weight between it.
You might not. It's pretty tight with two doubles, but you'll get back to me on that.
Yeah, we might just have to put another split ring on it.
True.
Yeah. And then
that's interesting.
Yeah, and hang it between, or maybe anyway, there'll be a way.
Yeah.
I think that's very clever. So
that's great stuff, that is. And what I love about the tech though is that Dee, what have we got ahead of us? Like in 2 years' time, every year in Tech Talk it's being shortened to 6 months. Every bracket of 6 months, or we used to say 3 years in tech is like, you got something 4 years old, you might as well throw it out. But now it's narrowing up to nearly a year, 2 years, 6 months.
I think so.
If you need an upgrade on your sounder or you need something fixed up on your old Lowrance, they'll say, what? No, just buy a new one. No,
that's it.
You go. And really, as much as we don't like to hear that, it's the truth. Yeah. It's how tech works. I think there's two areas, just to finish up on the tech subject here, there's two areas that I'm going to tip, and it could be totally wrong here, but I reckon audio will come into it down the track. I think at some stage we will put more credence into what fish can hear, sense, feel. And also I reckon there'll be sounders that will take pictures of you hold a fish up and you just go.
Yes. I was going to say that.
Who needs a phone anymore? Phones will become defunct because all of us have got cameras that sometimes we use as text machines, rarely as phones. Who rings anyone now on a phone? All we do is use them as cameras.
Yeah, that's it. The best cameras ever. But you look at the phone and you look at the size of a sounder and you're like, I reckon we could probably fit a phone in, a camera in the sounder.
It's got to happen.
I think so. And how good would that be?
We got 2 or 3 screens on the boat now and one on the yak. Just hold the fish up and go photo, portrait, do what. It's got to happen. Yeah. But audio too, I don't discredit because I think too we put a lot of credence into rattles, into what lures do and vibing and stuff that lures throw off and that. I think at some point down the track we're going to shift the focus on the visuals and more on the audio, but could be wrong. But I want to get in early just in case that happens.
Just in case. Here's a thought to expand. Imagine if you've got your sounder, it's now got a camera in it, and you catch it, you hook a fish,
Yeah.
you hit your waypoints, save a waypoint,
All right.
catch your fish, take a photo of it,
Yep.
save it to your waypoint. So
Yeah.
next time you come through, you can go back, you can see your fish, lure in the mouth,
Oh,
on your
time
waypoint,
stamped, date stamped.
time stamped, everything.
Yeah, gotcha.
So your sounder
Time
becomes a
stamped,
fishing diary. Imagine that.
Yeah, in the collective, someone talked about that. Who was that?
I don't know.
It might have been Zeusy. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, all right. I wanted to get the collective a big wrap because I got a lot out of that last meeting. That went for, we went for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, and it had to shut off because I needed to go to bed.
Yeah, I had a 6:30 start in the office myself down at the
That's right.
down at Lake Wellington, and you were saying, "Crappies, I got to be at work at 6. Start at 6:30."
Yeah.
And
I had
no
to
one was
go and
going
open
in a
it.
hurry.
No, I think we'd have kept talking. Okay, what I think we'll cover then is there's a couple of things.
Okay.
Is we've got 2 of the Force Lures prize packs to give away.
Yep.
And they're split into 2 different things. So the first is for new subscribers dating back to, I think, the last monthly report. So for those people that are in, they're already in the draw. And there's about 13 as it stands tonight, 13 or 14. Now,
Yep.
moving forward until the next monthly report we record, which will be around, say, the 25th of next month, that's when you and I, we're going to get all those names of the new subscribers, and we're going to do a draw and give away that Force Lure pack.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
It's a great.
And we'll announce that. We'll announce that on the show here.
Yeah.
So, and then there's another pack to give away, which is part of the collective, which to find out how to get that, you have to join the collective and then you can find out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Win-win.
Win-win. 100% win-win. All right. So we've been doing the crabs and mussel challenge. So tell us about your experience with that.
Okay, spider crab, the hurricane. I had tried that a little bit prior to the challenge. Now, let me do a little show and tell here. I've got the old spider crab set up here. Naughty sent these to me early days.
Yep.
That's with the hook out the back, and it hasn't got the 2 hooks on the claws, and it's little various weights. So I've been playing with them, and look, I'll be honest, I thought I'd struggle, and because I'm not historically good with crabs and mussels, more success with the muss, homemade,
Yeah.
joeys, etc. But when I put the spider crab on, so at present, I reckon I've got 4. Yeah, I reckon 4 Bream on the spider crab, hurricane job, old style. But 46 and a half, 45 and a half, couple of 42s, maybe a 36, whatever. Dropped a few, bust one off and lost a few to snags. But I've been fishing them shallow, and because it's still been a shallow bite. What it did tell me straight away, bang, no little bream. I'm not wading through the 26s and 28s and even 32s. First one I put up for the camera, 45 and a half. That's pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
It was great. But again, here's my problem. Help. It's throwing into the edges, and I know the fish are there because I've been getting them on whatever lure I'm throwing. I won't go into that right now. Throw it in. I know they're there. It's the challenge. I've got to play my part, get them on the crab. And I still don't feel the bite. I'm waiting, and I roll, and I just wind up thinking, I'm going to feel a bit of weight. I'm going to feel the clunk. Every time I wind up, I think, bugger, it's snagged. Oh, snag moved. Okay,
Yeah.
I lift, 8 kilo leader, horse, major horsing, drag tightened up. But it's out of probably
wow.
1 foot of water. And it's time. Here's the other thing. So I'm talking about, I've got a great couple of bream and that. These are taking hours. It's taking a lot.
It's taken a while to get them.
It's a lot of dedication, and it comes at a little bit of despair because I reckon all the time I'm thinking, Deethy, I can get more using a baby vibe or using a Sprat 65 or even because I've been using them a bit more, the 65s. Or a Sprat 85 in Super Oil is one of my favourites. But I'm sticking it out because the collective tells me to, and it's your fault, man.
Yeah, it's my fault.
It's part of the challenge. And so I get the reward. And so here's the real problem. Then I go, you ripper, I've got a big one. This is going to work and it's going to keep working. Another 40 minutes, maybe not quite, nothing.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I go, I've had it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough fishing. And so I need to learn more from the crew, not just from the collective, from the whole Bream community. Help me. I need more tech because quite often I don't have my sounder. And I've only got a Lowrance TI and side scan jobby.
Still a decent sounder.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I love it and I back it.
I have one of those. Yeah.
And I think too, Deetha, that's all I need presently. Time will tell. So that's the good news. The bad news is I have persisted and I have had another couple of times where I've got nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Whether it's, I've got one on the cranker crab, I've got 4 on the spider crab, and I've got, and another crab, it needs talking about because a mate of mine, Mark Ramsey from Traralgon, he made these crabs some 12 plus years ago, and they're a little bit Geddes styled, a little bit ugly.
Oh,
there's 2.
Absolutely Geddes.
Yeah, so there's 2.
What are they? It's got balls.
It's got balls. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's, and see, he's put the foam. It's a cranker copy, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But he's got
It's
the
beautiful.
little legs out the side and that, and it's a bit bigger. It's a little, slightly heavier model. So I've got 2 Bream on that, both big, like 40 pluses.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty. I've got one on the cranker crab, but I lost another cranker and struggled to get another one back, and at $28 plus a pop. I got a little bit sick of that, so I thought I'll explore on that when I get some cleaner country. But still got one really cracking good. I think I sent you the photo. So there's that. But also to answer your question there, Joey's, I haven't got the quadrilla going yet. That's yeah. But I've caught some, a couple of, I think 3 Bream on that. But I still put my hands up in the air and say, I'm not a very good bait fisherman. I'm not a good, and as much as our mate Zeus in the collective said, there's BC, like before crabs and after crabs. I think that was Nicole in the
From the ABT.
yeah, she said that. There's before crabs and there's after crabs, and I'm starting to get my head around that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and what I found interesting about what you said, okay, you said at times it's been hard for you, but you've also caught big fish.
Always big, yeah.
So big fish. So, yeah, I don't know. I think more time. Maybe with that spider crab, maybe I'll share something that I was doing with it. So I hadn't used it. I had a hurricane crab packet.
Yep.
But I hadn't used it. And
with the new hook setup.
With the new hook setup.
Yep.
And I thought, all right, I'm going to give it a crack. But I was fishing high current, reasonably deep water. And what I wanted to do was to walk the crab along the bottom.
Right.
So sometimes crabs are hit on the drop, but my idea was it's a reefy section. I'm just going to walk it across the bottom. So I put a chin weight on the back of it. And here's one of the fish I caught. You can see on the spider crab with the stinger hooks on it.
Gotcha.
And you can see, if I zoom back out there, got a little chin weight hanging off the back of it.
Yeah, the hook up board. Yeah.
Yeah, just to get it down. And I basically just walked that along the reef, and that was one of the guys I got at that point. The pluses for this is obviously it's a much cheaper crab.
Yeah.
You've $5 a lure or something long.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty snag resistant just with those 2 stingers. Yeah, something I'll be persisting with. And now I've got some more of Joey's weights. I've got some of the heavier ones as well.
Okay.
So they come in a whole range, but these are the 3/16. So pretty heavy. I'll be able to get that down at the bottom of bridge pylons in a great rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a few different colours. They have black, silver, and he's talking about a third option.
Grouse. Okay.
So that would definitely be one of my takeaways from that little experiment. Definitely.
Did you
I
lose many of the spider crabs?
I didn't lose any of them.
Okay.
That's the only one I pulled out of the packet.
Okay.
So caught some fish on it. It did start to destroy the claws a little bit.
Yep.
But that's kind of nature of the beast.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah. So that was quite cool. I ordered a couple more packets through Hurricane.
Good job. The other thing I wanted to talk about, Deethy, this is off topic in a big way, but I wanted to talk about this lure.
Oh. Okay.
Do you recognise that? Do you know what that is?
I'm guessing it's the Chase Baits one.
It's a Chase Bait Junior 65mm.
Okay.
So it's got the belly weight on the. It's probably a 3.0 hook, but you can see how when the fish bites, they've dropped.
It clears quite well.
Yeah. So it's a perch monster. There's no doubt about that. Perch loved it. Cripes, perch loved this thing. But the great revelation for me is that I've been catching some cracking bream on it. Not all big. I've been getting them to 30 and 32, 34 on that big hook. And it's not a huge lure. It's 65. But for me to present it with the hook hidden like that,
yeah.
and for a 32 centimetre bream to whack that and come in hooked. But the good ones I've had are like 42, 43s bream. Too many perch. But this one lure's probably caught me over 100 fish.
Wow.
And
wow.
It's got the feelers, the big rubbery feelers at the front, and they're quite robust. Like the whole lure as a setup is a really tough, it's a resistant, it's not elastic or anything like that, but it's caught me a lot of fish. The only trouble I've had with it was where you slot the hook that comes up, and it's still sharp today. I can tell. I don't even want to sharpen that, and it's caught me so many fish. They do tend to slip a little bit and get a little bit sloppy in that area there where you present the hook at the top of the... And sometimes a fish even dislodge the lure and it comes back in like that.
Wow.
But thankfully the head holds it in. So all I do is put a bit of dot of glue in the top of that little slot area. You might be able to make out the slot at the top there. Yeah. Wow. What a lure. And just to discover this in so many years of my luring for bream and perch, I mean, I've been up with it for probably 8 or so years, but it's just recently, having thrown so many of me hard-on softs, which I've had to make a few new ones, Deethy, because I reckon they're getting tired.
Oh, look out.
Of the grub style. So I've done a little paddle style job. And
it's a disco version, mate.
It is. It's pretty fugly, man. We'll put that away. I thought, what else can I tie up? Oh, look, there's a chase bait prawn. I better put that on. Let's try it.
Okay.
And
all right,
things went crazy.
Oh, okay. So I want it. So first of all, you're on your 17-pound leader, 8 kilo leader.
Yep.
Tell us what you're doing with it. You're throwing it into snags or up on the bank, or what's happening?
Snags. Yeah. A little bit of lake water as well, but it definitely structure for sure. Mm-hmm. And the thing about those chase baits is with that setup with the weight on the bottom, they are so snag resistant because they glide down. They sink pretty quick. It's pretty quick sink, but they also ride the snags really well, and so you don't hook up structure very often. So pretty good, and I don't lose many because I've got the heavy leader on. Have you used them? Are you aware of them, Deethy? Have you used them?
I've not used one. I don't think I own one.
Okay.
It's one of the rare lures I don't own.
Okay. I know they're very popular in Queensland for barra, jacks. They make them in 125s and much bigger. But the 65 is really cool for jacks, apparently. And they really are a Queensland thing. But we've had to source them from Queensland.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll chase a couple down and have a go at it.
It's pretty cool. So that's a little bit off topic. It's just something a bit different. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. One question I would have is if you're thrown into snags and what have you, are you just fishing it on the drop or are you flicking it or how are you working it?
That's a great question. So what we've found in the end is me and 2 or 3 other mates that have been using them. throw them into the snags, and let them nearly drop to the bottom. And so even with the bream, but more so with the perch, they'll quite often hit them on the drop. They even hit them on the splash.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they look at them and recognise them as being prawn-like and not hundreds of lures that we've all been throwing at them. So it is something new. You throw new lures at fish, I reckon you can relate to this. It sometimes can be the answer.
Yeah.
And I think it is. But here's the other problem. I've thrown them so many trips now, I think they're getting foamed up on them. So I think I've stuffed the new surprise element thing. But to answer your question, throw them in, yeah, sink down, no hit. I let them hit the bottom.
Yep.
And it's in structure. But because they're snag resistant, I'm starting to twitch them out. And this is what I've learned, is that a lot of bream and perch are sitting a good rod length out, nearly half a kayak length out. And so I've discovered something new. I've let it sit, and I thought, I'll just fish it out. Maybe something's following it. That's on the bottom. Oh, it's a long way from the bank. Oh, there's nothing there. Kalunk. Oh, I've done that 9 times today. Wait a minute. Slow learner. There. So it works in many different ways. Great lure.
Yeah.
Something different.
That's really something. When I interviewed Paul and Alex in the Vic Bream round at Gippsland Lakes,
Yeah.
and you can go back and have a listen to it, but they went through, I think Paul spoke about it, they went through a whole lot of baits. They could see the fish on active target. We might have spoken about this before. See the fish on active target, and they cycled the lures until they ended up with the clone prawn.
Yeah.
Which,
clone prawn.
No, the prawn imitation.
Good lure.
And that's what the fish were on.
What colour do you think? Did they say?
I think it was jelly prawn, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I fished with Paul when we had that on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another prawn imitation, which same sort of area.
Too right. Yeah, well, it's been working recently, so it's been a real feature. So I wanted to get that in too. And there's another prawn. I won't go too much into this. Can someone help me who's watching, listening, or no, only watching? What do you think? What's that thing? I've been given these have been given to me.
Out of the packets.
Yeah, that's just out of the packet. It's got a pretty decent big hook on it. It looks real prawny. Like, it looks pretty cool. It's got a couple of feelers on there. Can someone identify that and tell me what that is? Get back.
Yeah, you have to put it in the comments.
Yeah, PM me or do what you got to do. I'm going to re-rig it because I reckon that hook's way too big.
Yeah.
Above the body of the lure. I'm going to re-rig that. I know that just slides out, but that's a pretty sexy looking. That's as good as it gets, if you ask me.
Yeah. All right.
So, anyway,
re-rig it.
I'll get back to you. I'll make it work.
I know. Oh, there you go. Mate, I don't think we touched on how you're going with your mussels. But not your gym muscles, but your mussels.
Yeah, mussels been pretty good. Now, I think I've got my head around that. I've worked out that I've got to fish certain areas, and it's not a terribly good late option. It still works, but the season's rolling around. It's getting pretty cold and the temperatures are dropping. So I know the fish are going deeper. So I've been fishing the muss a little bit in the shallows. I will say no success. But when I fish some runs and that 2 to 3 meters of water, not a problem. They're down there for sure. And a lot of smaller fish eat the muss. Have you found that? I don't. I found with the crab, it's tend to be big, but the muss is like ding ding, head shake on. Oh, that's a little rattler. Oh, I dropped it. I think a greater variety of size anyway eat the mussels. And with Joey's one, I think I've got my best so far 44.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's on the blue lip.
38s for sure.
Yep.
But I'm about to hit Holland's Landing again because I know this is the time of year. This all starts to come into action. They all go deep. It's not a pre-spawn thing. It's like a big feed up before they go pre-spawn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that part. That's why the micro. I look at that thing and Joey's micro. I just think, that's like candy from kids. Fair dinkum. This is going to be. I just know. I don't even have to. I haven't used one yet. I haven't even tied it on. I've only just got it. You sent it to me.
That's
Joey, let me get back to you on that, mate. That is going to be stupid.
I think you've got to be the first person to hook it up with 2 doubles. I don't know of anyone that's done that. So, mate.
I've done that a little bit with my own homemade ones, and it's been good. And when the hooks break, this is what I like about them versus trebles. When you're out in the field and you're trying to take a treble off a split ring, you might as well go home. It's not,
Yeah.
and my failing eyes, I'm not wearing glasses tonight, but I'm looking sideways. But doubles, I just switch them out, switch it in, switch it out, put 2 on, got a quaddie going, got one on the front, one on the back. Doubles so good. Oh,
Mate, yeah, it's very good. I must admit, I fished Callum's, the Outback Brimmer Baits mussel quite a bit and done really well.
yeah.
But when Joey sent the other ones across to me, I went out and I thought I'm going to fish boat holes, and I
Yeah.
haven't really done that.
Yeah.
I've thrown a few, but with no success. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna persist with this. Steve Morgan can do it. I must be able to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And this was the first. I think this was the first fish I caught.
Oh, so that's
the micro mussel.
micro. Yep.
Yeah, that's the micro mussel.
Yeah, yeah.
It may not have been that fish, but the first fish I caught was a 33 forker. I don't think it was that one. A 33 forker, and it was fat.
Yeah.
Like, as a 33 forker, you go, it's probably a kilo.
Ethan, did you high stick that one and keep it up under the hull, or did you let it sink and watch him, or not watch him, but imagine that he followed it down to the bottom?
No, this fish, I could see the fish on forward facing. So with this, what I've done is I let it sink to the bottom and then just rattled it across the bottom.
Right.
Just kept it really close to the bottom.
Pause.
And then it loaded up and I went, oh, that's solid. And I think this was actually the fish. You can see the size of the lips on it.
Yes, that is a good.
That would be the fish there.
Yeah, nice one. Yes.
So yeah.
Big rubber lips on that one. Yeah.
You know what? I'm quite tempted to take the hooks off and put doubles on.
But because
you got 4 points.
They are decoys, aren't they? The traps.
The decoys are really
they work. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the hooks, but imagine 2 doubles.
Oh, mate, you got a quaddie going. Come on.
Mate, I want a quaddie.
We're all punters as anglers.
That's it. And mate, so that was a technique that I caught a handful on that day off the boats in Wollaware Bay. So for the guys coming into the Georges River round 2 weeks ago, or probably 3 weeks ago by the time this comes out, they're definitely on the boats, and I wouldn't have had a fish under 31 fork there.
Wow. So that's a thing in April, May, June, is it, that they all sit? Are they high up under the hulls, or are they mid, or?
Well, I think they move. This particular day, they were on the bottom. Like, I could see the little ones under the hull. That's what I could see.
Yeah.
But I got the fish more on the bottom, except for one. One fish followed a spike, I think, out from a boat. I did put the rod tip under and dragged the lure down the middle of the hull, and it popped out the back of the boat.
Yeah.
And this bream just come up and just grabbed it and kind of shook its head, and I put my net around it.
Yeah, bang.
So
got him.
Bang, like that. No fight.
The 44 or the 53, the bigger one, or the XDR, or is it?
The smaller one.
MR.
The MR, medium runner.
Yep.
Yeah, in the smaller size. So
it's a great lure.
It's a good lure.
It's a bloody good lure.
So yeah.
Interesting.
So my experience with the mussels and crabs challenge, because I started before everyone because I knew it was coming.
Yeah, you were talking
yeah, just bigger fish. Bigger fish.
We tipped that though. We did tip that, didn't we?
That's right. I had a cracking session on Captain Cook one day. I think in an hour, I can't remember the numbers. I had a 35, a 34, and a 32 or something like that fork. Good for up here, like maybe 2.5, 2.6 kilo bag.
Yeah.
Within the space of an hour.
Yeah, you've been having shortened sort of session. Like your sorties aren't like my 7-8 hour jobs. You're getting out when you can.
Yeah. Occasionally I'll get a shot after work.
Yeah.
And got to make that decision. Do I go for a fish or do I go home? And sometimes you got to go for a fish.
Oh, that's dead. That brings me on to my next subject is that I've passed a little milestone here as we head in towards June. I've just cracked 1,000 bream for the year so far. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about 680 perch, probably 50 odd big flats. I've got some big duskies, but they've backed out the last 3 months, probably 4 nearly now. I haven't gone chasing bass, but I've fluked one or two. A good one, 46. But I have also, let me just quantify that too and clarify, is that it's taken, I think I'm up to 68 trips. So it's 68 days on the water, and we're not into June. So that equates into every third day, or was it? Hang on, 68. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a bit over every third day.
a bit over, yeah. So,
I just did a calculation.
yeah.
For the days in the year, you've caught an average of probably 8 fish for every day of the year.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And an average of probably 17 or 18 each trip.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
Is that
If you
right?
combine the perch because the perch have
Yeah.
really come on board lately, but the bream thing it's been one of my biggest year on bream, I think I got close to 3,000 one year when I was blading. But another thing too, let me also clarify that I count little brims. I can't.
Yeah.
It's not my fault they're little. I keep telling everyone that's a challenge. And when you catch them in the butthole, I get double for that. Or if you catch them under the chin and they haven't eaten it. No, but I do. I count the little ones and the big ones.
You count what you catch. That's right.
The thing about the Gippy Lakes is a little bream is usually 27, 26. I still count them as little at 32. And you get the odd real squeaker jobs, but not many. Yeah, so I count them all. So I'm open about that. And I'm good at counting. This is my thing with my diary. I know I've talked a lot about this with people, is that I think it's important to keep good count. And quite often I'm with one or two mates and they're hopeless at it. I go, no, you've got 16, you've got 12, I've got 6. No, you're on 30. So when we're having big days, I'm trying to calculate everything. I like to document this on my diary because the diary is such a really valuable tool for down the track. So anyway, I do digress. 1,000 bream plus. If I did the totals, I haven't updated my diary last 2-3 trips. I think I'd be about 1,060, whatever, and the perch. But what I'm really rejoicing in, Deethy, is that because we've had little rain down here, opposed to what you've been experiencing up there, mid-coast, New South, and further up, further down, this is one of those real, golden moments. And I was talking to Lee Rainey about this the other day. I said, man, yeah, you can fish Lakes Entrance, or you can go to the Nico and you can do the mouth of the Tambo and all those Mitchell. But when you get into the Straits and up into Lake Wellington, these waters are now like meat-tongue waters. They're like the salinity levels. I wish I had a meter. It's incredible that there's so much salt, the clarity, so few carp, because it's historically known as a really, carp have just gone mad around this area, but they've all been pushed way, way back up into the river systems. So I'm in that Goldilocks moment where I can go 14 minutes from home and just go, I think we're going to have a pretty good day. And we generally do, if I'm with one or two mates, we're rounding up 50, 60 fish a session. And that's nearly every session. Some dodgy ones. The other day I went to my favourite spot. I got 2 carp, 4 bream and 2 perch, and I thought, it's not quite working today. But overall, it's pretty exciting, Deethy. It's really, I'm as good as catching all these fish as the environment lets me do it. It's not the gun angler. It's more that the conditions have conspired to be so good. So it's really been exciting, Deethy, to have these numbers.
Yep, and it seems to be getting better. It
does, and I think too with the no netting thing and the likes of all those comp anglers in the ABTs and the Vic Breams, like the Paul Malovs and the other anglers. And what were those guys that won the comp? They were set up. Their name was got no experience or something, or limited experience, or
Zero Technique.
A Zero Technique.
Yeah,
they won the comp.
Yeah,
and they haven't done a lot, and I could tell by the way they were talking and the things they were doing. They really don't know the Straits, but yet they whacked it. How good's that?
They got onto them. How good is that?
How good is that?
Yeah.
virtual greenhorns and newbies can come along and not only do well but win the comp. Wow.
Yeah.
So us oldies and experienced fellas can still learn from the newbies. Oh no, we did this and we did that. Oh no, you did what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. We got a few more things to cover. Mate, you asked me a question before the intro that I didn't answer. Now you got to ask me again.
Oh, the whiskers. That's right. Yeah. What's going on, man?
Mate, on Saturday, I leave for Bundaberg. We're going to go on. I'm going to go on the Big Cat Reality with ET and Mick Eddinghaus and a whole bunch of guys. Do some filming and catch some big fish.
This will be
And
cool.
and to do that, you've got to get your beard right.
Ah.
For me, I think about a week's growth is about right. So, quick shave. So that's why it's shaved. But, mate, I've got some new toys. Do you want to see some toys?
I love toys. And wait, just quickly, have you thrown the dice? Do you remember that you were meant to do that for the dice?
For Lake Macquarie. I didn't. Mate, I went up there. The water, like I wanted to fish, my idea was to fish boat holes with it.
Okay.
And with the colour of the water, I just didn't think it was the right option. So I've saved it. We'll have to come back to it.
I'll let you off of that one. Skip it, though. I'll let you skip that one.
But I've got exciting things.
Do tell.
Yeah, fortunately, this is just a handful. Look at the size of these boys.
That's big.
Seasons was kind enough to send me some lures to take away. Man. And this is just a couple of them.
Indies glow. Love it. Yeah.
I've got a new rod and reel coming from Shimano, which is awesome, and then some loaners from ET. Yeah, so we're going to jump on a big catamaran, about 20 of us. Yeah. We drive out to Swains Reef, however far that is.
Oh, man.
Sleep on the boat for 7 days. Wow. And then jump in tenders in groups of 2 and go out and fish.
So they're targeting like GTs and big Spanish jobbing.
GTs and coral trout and all the sort of species. In addition to that,
have you done weights for this, Naughty?
Naughty. I haven't.
I had Naughty because I saw Naughty done with the comp recently.
I had plans to get a bit tuned up for it, and then I didn't. So we'll see how I go.
You might come back sore, I reckon, Beefy.
I might come back broken. So I also had Pro Lure. Send me some lures. Look at those beautiful things.
They're a bit sexy.
So they're a 220 mil Prey minnow, as well as a couple of packets of the 150 size.
Right.
And I think that's a new colour. This is the Scad colour. I'm pretty sure this is brand new to them.
12 times durable, so it must be real stretchy jobs.
Mate, pretty sexy.
Yeah.
And we're going to I'm told that you control these with a 1 ounce jig head. 1 ounce.
Wow.
That's crazy, hey?
Okay. You want a long hook. You want the hook down back near the
I think so.
You would think.
Yeah, it might be a stinger as well. I'm not quite sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Then, that's not all. That's not all.
Oh, what else you got? What other toys you got?
Mate, the Pro Lure Ultra Gar. We are going to try and get that thing smashed by some big fish.
That looks... So that's like a skip bait jobby.
Yeah, it was 2 types. This one's the F, so the 150F, which for floating.
Yep.
And then we've got the 150S for sinking.
Weighted. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with weighted. And you can see that one's got the big single on the back.
Yes, I did see that.
Whereas the other one has the trebles.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm told they troll really well.
Okay.
They're told if you troll them behind the boat, up and out of the water.
You've got some plaything. You're going to be loving this.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I've got some new camera gear.
Have you got the leaders all jigged up and you've be souped up and...
Yeah, get this. You're going to love it.
All right.
I've ordered some 60, 80 and 100 pound leader. So, mate, by the time we get to the next monthly report, hopefully I'll have not just some stories, but hopefully I can have a couple of videos to play. And
There'll be plenty of video taken without you having to do it because they'll be making shows out of this one. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there'll be some. We'll be on the telly again, which is awesome.
How'd you get the gig? How'd that happen?
Mate, I think it came through Hobie originally,
Right.
and being world champion, and Hobie sponsored the show, and we live close together. So
Yeah.
he's in
Yeah.
somewhere in the Shire, and yeah, so he started like that, and yeah, he rang last year, more than 12 months ago,
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, we're planning a trip up to the Swains.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be this much. Are you in?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm in." Anyway, that 12 months has come around. So
That's gross. That's
yeah,
and how many days?
7 days on the boat, I think.
Days.
7 nights.
And you've done a whole heap of recording and shows, and mate, you need a break. And I will open up here. You probably wouldn't come forward with this, but I will. I know there's been a couple of times you've rang me and you said, Brett, I think I'm cooked. Because you've been doing so many interviews and giving so much stuff away, and the collective, and even putting up with my messages and porn the fish porn I
I
send.
like your brim prawn.
That's good. I know I get you when you're working, but I just want to point out to everyone that, and not you now, I want to point out to everyone else that you're doing a bloody good job. Flip me, jip, man. You're bloody busy. Let's be honest. How do you do it? Really, it's a lot of. I get a headache when you tell me what's coming and what you've got to do. And Brett, we can't do the monthly report until X night. I say to you, Deethy, I've got a headache just, and I'm not even doing it. So, are you okay, man? What's going on? Do you have to back out a little bit? Do you have to
Yeah, look,
break at some point?
I did. Like I said, I made a decision to not do a couple of comps, which was really hard to make that decision.
Yeah,
because they're friends.
yeah.
So yeah, I had to do that because there's just not enough time to do it, and yeah, I can't do every night of the week.
It's a lot of content, Deethy. It's a lot of content.
Yeah, and even the simple stuff, even just communications with people, is very time consuming. And I was definitely a person. If you go back 2 years, if you sent me a message, I'd respond within as soon as I saw it.
Yeah.
Now I can't do that.
No.
Because I can often read a message, and I don't have time sometimes to actually to think about what's in the message. I have to come back to it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes they get missed, which is definitely not who I am, but I understand it. Yeah.
But you've got 2 jobs, let's face it.
Yes, at the moment, yeah.
You got 2 8-hour jobs, nearly.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you start 6:30, so you're up early. And
up early.
Yeah, so
finish at 3.
I wanted to point this out and acknowledge this a bit. And also it's part of this thank you thing, is because we've all benefited from this, Deethy. Like, I was watching the weigh-in, the latest Hobie, and Chris kept mentioning the Bream Project. And I thought, it's a feather in your cap. But it also points out to the fact that you're having a really big impact. And I will say that I'll be biased because I'm involved with you and we're doing this monthly report. But every now and again, mate, I've got to pump your tyres up. Mightn't happen again. It probably will. But soak it up while you can. I just want to say thanks a lot, mate, because at least I know I'm good at this. I'm good at getting you to open up, because some of your backlog of experiences and doing stuff with lures and putting weights and different hookups, and you've got a lot to contribute. So I'm glad I'm starting to wrinkle that out of you.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, no, I wanted to do that, mate. That was my thank you for you. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback myself. A lot of people contacting me from, as I said, Tassie and all sorts of places. And it's a good thing, man. I think we should keep it rolling. We're going pretty good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate what you said, and also doing the monthly report. What I wanted to go back to last session's show.
Yeah.
Now, my YouTube channel is quite a small channel, like realistically.
Yeah.
With the podcasts, they are just mostly podcast episodes on YouTube. And the reason I did that is, in a lot of cases, it's easier for some people who are not technologically advanced to jump on YouTube. They've got their head around that, but a podcast some people just can't work it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Now they can watch it on you. They can listen to it on YouTube.
Yep.
So small channel. Often those podcasts get between, say, 50 and 100 listens would be pretty normal.
Okay. Yep.
The monthly reports, typically we're getting 500 views on YouTube alone, just on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's not the podcast.
That's not just Apple and Spotify and stuff. And
yeah, but last time, I know it's not a big number, but for me it was. We hit 12 or 1,300 views on YouTube. And it was, I was really pumped. When Nev put a comment up, I was really quite flattered by that. And the other thing, which I think may have made a difference there, the other thing, there was a young fella from Queensland who made mention of it.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how to get in contact with this young fella, but I'd certainly like to see some photos and what have you. So
saw that.
I think I mentioned it somewhere else. Definitely talk to your parents because you're still a minor, but shoot us some messages and send us some photos.
For sure. Yeah. And the other thing I'll add too, Deethy, is that twice recently I've been on the water, local, Latrobe, and there was another bloke in a kayak there. I hadn't met him. He's probably older than me, which means he's old. He said, "Oh, g'day, mate. Are you catching any fish?" I said, "Oh," and I just was a bit swampy. I said, "No, not really, mate. Just a couple of carp." And I was trying to pedal off and thinking, and I wasn't being dismissive or arrogant. I just want to go do my thing. And then he said, "Wait a minute. Are you the guy that does the podcasts with that Deethy fella? Are you on the Bream Project?" I was stopped and I went, "Oh, rightio." He says, "Are you the dude? You're the dude that does the podcast with that fella?" I said, "Yep, I'm the dude. I'm that dude. So I'm not even known as Brett Geddes anymore. I'm just the guy that does the." So that happened twice because it was about probably 3 weeks earlier. There was two guys in a boat. They said, "Oh, are you the fella doing the podcasts?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." I'm thinking back to Greg Vinyl days, but I've realised now that it's what we're doing. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So I've lost all my writing for magazines because that was my creative element. And I know I've talked about this before, and I could always throw in how I'm making stupid lures and double hooks and big pound leaders and that. But Deethy, what we're doing here is I think I'm getting more feedback than ever. But I just love doing it because I don't have to type and sit there on a keyboard. All I do is it's the only thing I can do is talk. I'm an average angler and a bit of a hack, but I can keep yapping. So anyway, I should stop pumping your tyres up, man. I should. What do you got to look forward to in the next few weeks, apart from your trip away?
So I got the trip away. The Hobie on the Georges, home waterway is a good round. It's always nice.
Yeah.
And actually, I can mention something which hasn't been made public now, but for the Hobie round, the collective, we're going to sponsor and put on a little barbecue there. Oh. So when the anglers get off the water, you can have a sausage.
What
How good's that?
Better sausage than Bunnings job.
Oh, mate, it's going to be fantastic. I'm not sure exactly what it'll entail, but this is what the plan is.
I hope there's onions involved.
I hope there's what? Onion? Onions. Oh, mate. Yeah, always onion and not frozen onions. No. We're going to cut the onions. That's the rule. But mate, we're getting on for time, but we've got a couple of things I want to talk about.
You went
fishing down at Lake Conjola.
Do tell.
And I want to show you some photos and stuff. So it's a little bit self-indulgent here.
That's what podcasts are all about.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yes.
So I got my eldest daughter Jamie and her family, and we went down in Dad's boat.
Yeah.
We had the kayaks, but we also had the boat. Anyway, I went out. So I went out with my 5-year-old grandson.
Yeah.
And I'm like, got to catch him a fish. And it wasn't that good at sessions.
Baby vibe or a blade?
On a bivvy.
Oh,
I had a bivvy.
Pink?
A bivvy. Not pink. I know it was the Ghost Gill one.
Ghost Gill. Yes.
So I've got this little video of Kai here after we've caught a bream. So we're in Dad's boat, which is more a bait fishing boat or a blackfish boat. Yeah. So it's not quite a bream boat, but anyway.
But it's a kid-friendly boat.
It is a kid-friendly. It's a family-friendly boat. It's a good family boat.
Yeah.
I'll play this. I'll just roll this up a little bit. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Look at that happy chappy.
All right, you going to let him go?
and he's going to put it back. He's going to go, whoop.
What do you reckon?
So, do you think Ghost, is that his first bream on lure?
No, we caught fish. No, we took the boat out in Georges River, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago. And I put him on, I had some sprats. So we were doing the sprat challenge.
Grouse. Okay.
And we caught some great fish out of the boat.
Sprat 75?
Sprat 75 in Cleaver was just the gun. So good.
Yep.
Mate, now I'm fishing with him and I was like, that was only a little bream. And I'm like, okay, I want to put him on another fish. So the idea is Grandpa hooks the fish and he winds it in and he catches it.
Yeah.
So I was throwing round a spike and I throw into the bank.
Small one? 44 or 50?
No, the big one
53?
in deep.
Yeah. XDR maybe?
Yeah, EXDR.
Yep.
And anyway, I hit a snag, but then the snag moves.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
And this was the result. I did have a brag nash. I just couldn't put my hand on it. So that's an 80 centimeter ruler with the tail cut off it. Like you can't see the tail. So it's basically a 91, 92 centimeter flathead, 4 pound leader.
Oh,
in the boat with Kai bouncing around all behind me. And I'm like, mate, just settle down. It's a really big fish. I've got to take time. And the net wasn't big enough. And I managed to land it.
And tell me, when he saw the fish in the water, did he freak? Did he say, look how big it is? Did he really?
It was just bouncing around the boat. It's really big. I must admit, I felt a bit guilty. I didn't hand him the rod.
Okay.
But I honestly, I don't think he could have landed it. I think it was just, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
And on 4 pound, he probably wouldn't have finessed it enough to maybe give it a little bit more head. And
yeah, he wouldn't have had the muscles to lift it because it's a big fish.
Oh, is that your PB?
No, I've caught bigger ones than that on crossfires, that's pretty fun.
Okay. They're the big 22 centimeter jobs, are they, or the?
Yeah, 195s.
195s.
And I wanted to show this. It's a little bit self-indulgent, but it's like the joy that the kids have just out there. That was a little bream that he had, and he was so happy to catch it. This one, we talked about the infamous weedfish, which he wanted a photo with. So there's his weedfish.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
So there was that one.
We all have them. Yep.
And the last one I wanted to share, I'll share it, not of Kai, but of Jamie and the youngest son, Knox. It was time we caught a whiting. It was time to give the whiting a kiss.
Yeah.
And this was a photo of young Noxie about to give the fish a little kiss.
Look at Annie.
So
that's everybody's pretty good whiting too, by the way.
It was decent whiting. We cut his face off and he became dinner.
As you do. And Mum looks pretty happy too. She's chuffed.
Yeah, it was it was funny because he's just 18, 19 months.
Yeah.
And he wasn't against giving it a kiss.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, so that's my self-indulgent moment in Dad's boat down at Lake Conjola, which is where I met my first wife, and a lot of history there.
That's great. And / special moments, DC. That's
special
great.
Moments. Moments.
That's what it's about. Yeah. So good. Yeah. What's your first memories of catching a fish?
I know that my first fish was a groper caught under Captain Cook Bridge.
Ah.
And I think it was 3 pound. But I only have the memory through. Yeah, I only have the memory through being told that.
Okay.
Like I don't really remember it. We spent a lot of time in that boat down in Port Hacking. We used to go down. We'd pump nippers. Dad would pump a little bucket full of nippers, like a whole bucket of nippers. And it was easy pumping down there. And then we'd go and fish till dark, and we'd often get dewies and flathead and bream and whiting, all sorts of stuff. But the funny thing is, the biggest flathead I'd ever caught in my whole childhood, up until I started catching fish on lures, was a 4 3/4 pound flathead. So I don't know what that measures, but so 4 3/4.
2.5 kilo. It'd be 60.
Yeah, I'd say 60, 65. That was the biggest fish I'd ever caught in years and years and years of chasing them. When we went to lures, that's quite common now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love the
yeah,
4 1/4 pound. That's how we used to measure trout and all that too. Like
that's
way back. It's grouse, that measurement. 4 and a
that's
quarter.
right.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and I remember that fish. I remember I don't think it fit in the keeper net. I think we put it up the front of the boat, and I remember fishing that night and
Yeah.
going and checking it, just looking at it, going, "Look at that."
Oh, that's great.
I don't know how old I was, probably a young teenager.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And you haven't strayed far, Deety. You're
no,
still in the same zone.
yep, that's right. I did have a gap from fishing. I didn't fish
Okay.
much in my early 20s
Okay.
till I bought the kayak, and I would have been maybe 30, 29, 30.
Okay.
I'd have to check. But then it really kicked in when I bought the Hobie. When I bought the Hobie, it went hands free.
Yeah.
Just another level. Another
Oh,
level.
yeah, the hands free thing. Yeah, I had a paddle kayak for some 10 years and
Mhm.
flip me jip. I don't know how I did it now. It's crazy world stuff.
Well,
It's either I had less brains back then or just stronger. I don't know. Or maybe both. But
yeah,
tough. It was, but geez, I caught a lot of cracking
me,
bream. Oh,
me too.
yeah.
I had a Dagger Drifter, which is a sit inside
Okay.
kayak, like a Bassman style kayak.
Yeah, yeah, another one.
And that was my first kayak. And you'd have, I think we'd cut rod holders in the back of it. So 2 rods only,
Yeah.
everything in between your legs. And after about an hour, I kept having to just adjust all the time
Yeah,
because I couldn't
yeah.
sit.
Yeah, and
No
we had
standing
stronger
up.
backs back then too. You wouldn't
Oh,
need a pad. Like you'd sit on a. I remember I used to get out of my kayak and just bounce out of it. These days,
yeah.
even with a cracking seat, all padded and beautiful and aerated,
Oh,
like sometimes getting in's easy, getting out is not so easy after 6 7
yeah.
hours. So
Yep.
it's amazing what we did, and you can
Yeah.
still do it. You don't need much to get going.
That's right. That's
Baby
right. I
steps.
must admit, I've got more tackle than you can poke a stick at, but in a lot of respects, I think we can dial that tackle back a bit if we focus on a few
Oh,
things.
I'm known as Mr. Minimalistic. Oh, you got to be in a kayak, but yeah, I'm renowned for having one lure on for 7 trips. Yeah,
But you learn that lure. I think that's to get back to the collective. That's one of the things I wanted to do was if we all just go fishing as a group and come back and report, it's all over the place.
yeah,
But if we focus on one style of lure, not so much one brand, but one style, um, that's where the real learning comes in. And doing what you did the other day where you weren't getting them, just persist a little bit longer and just see if you work it out.
100%. Yeah,
And then if it doesn't work, we'll go and fish your other stuff. It's okay.
yeah. We'll go
Like,
find more willing bream or perch
that's
or
it.
flathead. Yeah,
That's exactly right.
mate.
No.
As I wind you up, because I'll get in this time, I'm going to wind you up this round. I've got a couple of things I'm looking forward to, and the first one is this squid.
Oh,
Love squid. Love
right.
squid fishing. Yeah. Any lure fisherman, if you haven't got hold of squid fishing, just do it because it's the greatest thing on the planet Earth. It's crazy fun. They're so willing, and you can get mountains of them. Yeah, they're hard to find, but when you do, it's great fun. And on the fang, oh, no one
All
can
right.
back squid. So
All
that's number one. Port
all
Albert.
right.
Mainly Port Welshpool firstly, maybe Port Albert. And the other one is winter big dino duskies here in
Ooh.
Gippy Lakes, but also I always, probably the last 3 years now, I've gone to Lake Tyers and targeted the big dino duskies in the coldest and coldest of days. They're short days. They've got the beanie on. I've got all geared up, and I'm catching big duskies, and it's a real joy because they're in squeaky, shallow water, high up in the water, high up in the reaches of the lakes, into the rivers and all that. Even right now, they're in the mouth of the Mitchell and the Nico. Talking to Lee Rayner, he was trying to catch bream. He said, "Oh, Brett, I went and fished the Nico. All I caught was flathead." Now, a lot of people don't believe that because we're nearly winter. Temperatures are diving on the water and flathead everywhere. So, winter flatty in Victoria is a real thing. So, they're the two things I'll be planning for. And on that, winter flat is a thing in New South.
I don't have a good answer for that, Brett. I know that I don't, like, because I targeted them a lot on surface, and it certainly wouldn't be my time to go and look.
But
Yeah, I
do
don't
you
have a
fluke
good.
them like when you're chasing bream in the winter months?
You do, but I don't have a recollection of what month of the year because I'm usually chasing brim and
Yeah.
I haven't targeted them so much except for in the summer months.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know how to answer that accurately.
Okay. Yeah. So what are
I do
you
have,
looking forward to, mate, in the next couple of?
like I said, you know what? I'm looking forward definitely to the Georges.
Yep.
Like I want to. There's going to be some big brim caught there,
Yeah.
and if we don't get any rain, even if we do, but if we don't get any rain, I think it's going to be cracking, just a cracking event. I've got the week away, straight into the Georges. To be fair, I'm actually looking for a couple of weekends off,
Yeah.
a couple of weekends with no commitments.
Yeah.
Which it's not. I guess it's not quite in the vein of the fishing scene, but a couple of weekends off would be nice. I've got some. I did order another 360 camera, so I've got the latest and greatest
Ah,
Insta 360, and I've got some ideas about that I'm going to share with you when I show you.
okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and mate, actually something I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to the next challenge in the collective, which we haven't.
Yeah.
Like we've got as we record tonight. There's 99 members in the collective.
Are you talking about the force package?
Yep.
We should be nearly just about ready to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah. So we got the force package, but I reckon when we hit 110, I reckon 100. I reckon angler number 110. I reckon they should get a little present.
It might be a shirt, do you reckon, or like a brim?
It could be a shirt. That's probably a good idea.
Or could it be something like a little few blue lip presents from our good mate Joey?
It could be some presents. It could be multiple things. But I just think
Right.
I actually wanted to incentivize the 100th
Yeah.
100th person, but we got there too quick.
Good
So
problem.
by the time this comes out next Tuesday, we should be at 100. So yeah, so people will have to sign up and try their luck.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, but more importantly, the next challenge is going to be epic. It's going to be something different.
You're a tease. You're not
gonna
even
be.
telling. You haven't even given me a hint yet, so you're.
I'm not telling. I'm not telling. It's a secret.
Big guess.
So yeah.
But at 9 p.m. nearly, we've done, mate. We've just about clocked up the 2 hours worth.
Yep.
I haven't even had tea yet, and I've still got to get into the office tomorrow.
All right.
The Hobie's stacked and ready to go, mate. I'm going to wind you up this time round.
Okay, mate. There's two things I want to finish on then.
All right, we'll do that. Geez, you're dragging this one out.
Oh, mate, there's a couple. There's important things.
Okay.
The first is my good mate Stewie Dunn.
Yeah.
And when this comes out, he turned 50 yesterday, and he is one of the most talented fishermen I've ever fished with. Consistently outfished me on nearly every trip we ever went on.
Yeah.
The only way that I could win was I had to call a target species after the event that he didn't catch. So usually leather jacket, you get a leather jacket, you win.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much, that was about the only way I could beat him. So yeah, happy birthday, mate.
He's a dedicated angler, like experimental, big hours, and all that stuff, or what stands him out amongst others, do you think?
Here's the thing. Part of my idea for the collective came from him, not through him telling me, but he did a very long time on grubs, just grubs.
Okay.
Tried them all. Bought every grub he could find in everywhere. Just bought everything and just dialed them in. He also did it with vibes, which is he put me onto the bivvy. I didn't work it out.
It's vibes, yeah.
Vibes, yeah.
Baby vibes and bivvy vibes, yep.
Yeah. So he put me onto the bivvy. Like I didn't work it out so much as he put me onto it, and I just used it to good effect. So, mate, gun angler, 2015 Hobie champion, bunch of round wins. Yeah, but doesn't like to do comps anymore.
Okay.
He's a good close mate. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to ring him between shortly and say, I think you should do the Georges, mate. And he might.
Let's do it, mate.
Mate, and last thing before we shoot off is the day this comes out, it'll be the 12-month anniversary of Dad's passing.
Oh, man, yeah.
And I didn't want to not mention it. So.
Yeah, that's a special occasion, yeah. And a celebration too, Deethy, of what he's lived and passed on to you. And it's hard to say celebration, but it's a commemoration. But yeah, tough. How do you handle that? How do you reflect on that?
I don't know. Look, we took his boat down to Conjola, which has a lot of family ties from my youth and Dad's youth. Not so much growing up, but his life.
Yeah.
So being down there at Conjola on his boat with the family, yeah, it's really special.
All right. Nice way to end. All right, mate.
Yeah. So there you go, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's an important little milestone, mate. 1 year in. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And the interesting thing is, on the day this comes out, I'm going to be up on Swain's Reef smashing some big fish.
Just
And
how he wanted.
exactly. And he knew about it because this has been in the pipelines for just over a year.
Okay.
So, yeah. So there you go. All right, mate.
You
Another
did
great
wind me
chat.
up in the end. It wasn't me at all.
There you go. Mate, another great chat. Look, I look forward to next month, and thanks for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Grass, man. I enjoyed that. See you, bud.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully you were informed, inspired and entertained. If you were able to learn something or just enjoyed listening, please consider subscribing and rate us on your favourite podcasting platform.